Hey, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about insurance for your van. Insuring your camper van is a complex conversation because there are many factors that affect your coverage options. We're going to focus on some of the most important ones that are essential to keeping your investment protected. First, it's important to note the difference between an auto policy and an RV policy. An auto policy only covers the vehicle itself, not the build or anything inside. Just like your regular car, the van would be protected in the event of an accident, theft, or damage, depending on the specifics of your auto insurance policy. But if you want the build and your stuff inside to be insured, you'll need to get a Class B RV policy. If you didn't put much money or time into your conversion, then maybe this isn't a big deal. But if your van has a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and coin put into it, I suggest going with an RV policy. That way you're protected in all events, including if the van is totaled or broken into. I personally have a Progressive RV policy, but they're one of a few major companies I've found that have offered coverage for converted vans. I haven't had to make any claims, fortunately, so I can't really speak to the experience with them, but they are a company that you can check out when you're shopping around. In order to be adequately covered, insurance companies want to see a paper trail. Otherwise, they have no idea how to assess the value of your hard work and the material costs that went into your conversion. Keep all of your receipts and your invoices throughout your bill process, and make sure to track the labor hours you or your conversion company put into the van. It's also helpful to show the insurance company clear and detailed photos of the van inside and out, including photos of your valuables inside. Keep all of this data stored safely online in case you ever need it for a claim. I use Google Drive so I can access those files anywhere I need them in case of an accident. RV coverage requirements vary state by state, so you'll need to check with the state your van is registered in to know what you need. You'll need a certain information from you, like a VIN number, emissions testing, a statement explaining the conversion, maybe the van's gross weight, and more. Some states have specific requirements that need to be met in order to consider the van an RV or a motorhome, like running water or an electric refrigerator. So look into these requirements ahead of time, especially if you plan on having a very simple build. Unfortunately, a lot of people report difficulties in getting their self-built camper vans insured for a reasonable cost. Some people have had success, but many have not. So it's dependent not only on the company and state, but also circumstances. Some travelers have had luck when they've explained their situation in person to an agent after being declined by the same company online or on the phone. Different policies define full-time differently, so check and see if you are considered full-time or part-time with the company you're considering. Full-time coverage generally has more options and it is more comprehensive compared to a part-time policy. However, some companies won't insure your camper if they know you live in it full-time. So again, it's dependent on the company and the specific policy. When choosing a policy, there are a few specific areas you'll want to focus on. First, whether you choose fair market value or full replacement value will make a huge difference in your policy cost. Personally, if you can afford it, I recommend full replacement value. The fair market value determined by your insurance company is based on the number of miles on your van, and might not equate to the real fair market value based on how well some of these vans actually hold their value. Then you want to ask about breakdown and accident coverage. Unexpected expenses like an accident or major repair can be really costly and really put a wrench in a good day. After all, this is your home, not just a car. So if you break down and need a tow, you'll want to know, is this covered by your policy or is it something you're going to have to pay out of pocket? And these are valid questions that you're going to want to ask your insurance agent. Another thing to inquire about is if the policy covers personal items like gear, clothing, computers, cameras, etc. If your RV policy doesn't cover this, I suggest looking into a personal property insurance policy. Getting personal property insurance is usually an easy process and just requires submitting photos or receipts to your insurance company before you take off, and the annual policy is generally pretty affordable. One last thing to keep in mind is if you plan to travel internationally, say you're going to drive down to Baja, you might need a separate travel or country-specific insurance policy, so inquire about this possibility with your agent and explore your options. I encourage you to shop around and talk to different agents from different companies to see what they can do for you. Rather than just getting a quote online, go talk to an agent in person and explain your situation. Ideally, you want a comprehensive plan that will ensure the people, belongings, build, and vehicle for a fair price.